Hello everyone, Zane here and welcome back to my new player's beginner's guide to crafting in Final Fantasy XIV, level 1 to 80, part 8. In this video, we'll be going over some of the things that are associated with crafting and also something that are mandatory to crafting in Heaven's Ward. Alright, and the very first thing is going to be desynthesis. Desynthesis can be unlocked at level 30 by getting any crafter class level 30 and talking to the Rogadin behind me. It's going to be in the uldah marketplace at X13.9 Y10. After talking to him, you have to go to the bonfire in Central Thanalan, where Moonamix is, and talk to an NPC there to get desynthesis. It's under action and traits in the menu and under general at the bottom here. Desynthesis has been changed to where now anybody can level up all 8 crafting classes in desynthesis and can desynthesize any item without fail. It previously was you have to level up your desynthesis skill to able to desynthesize items of higher level. So it's now free for all for anybody to do. You still have skill level, but the higher the skill level, the better you are at getting rare materials, and they are called demi-materia. The ones you're going to be working with are field, battle, and clear. Clear are purely just to sell for gil at a vendor. That's all they're worth. That's all they are used for. There's grade 1s, 2s, and 3s. Each grade comes from certain levels of gear, so the lower ones will give you level 1s, the mid will give you 2, and the highest ones of each expansion will most likely give you 3s. Okay? So if we go into class and jobs, highlight any crafter, you see the desynthesis skills right there. We start at 1.00 and the max is 460.00. That will go up as each patch goes out as item level increases. Alright. The lower the item you're trying to desynthesize, you're only going to get materials. As you go up, you'll end up getting back shards, crystals, and clusters, which are used to, of course, craft your items in the first place. So as an example, let me desynthesize this hatchet. Right, so at the bottom there, if your skill level is higher than the optimal skill rating for the item, which it says up top here, it will turn red-orange. That means you have a good chance of getting demi-materia. Right, so it wasn't high enough, so I didn't get any shards or anything like that, but I did get an item. Alright, let's continue and desynthesize another item. This one I'm a little bit below the optimal one, so my chances are not as high as they used to be. But as you can see here, I got some shards. Alright, so when you are leveling up your crafters, your tools are the ones that aren't going to be spirit bonded as fast as the body gear, because the body gear is shared to all 8 crafters. So what you do with the tools, simply desynthesize them and get some materials and shards back. Simple as that. Alright, so that is desynthesis. It's very, very, very useful and very needed. Alright, next is going to be retainers. So, at level 17 in your battle job, you will have a NPC with a exclamation point over their head. It's going to have a blue background with a little plus sign next to it. This is an indicator that it's going to unlock something. It's called the Troubled Adventurer. Their retainer isn't responding, and you have to go find where they are, save them, and then come back to the retainer Volkit to pass in the quest. It should be right outside of the aetheryte, which is going to be right here for uldah, and the NPC is going to be standing right here. You can only have to do this once, and they're all 3 city-states, so you shouldn't be hard to find them. Alright, for uldah they're going to be in Cap Drybone. For Gridania, I believe it's East Shroud, and for Limits and Limits, I totally forgot where you get them, but wherever one you choose, you know, you have your own area you have to go to. Alright, and you also will be giving these things called ventures. It's going to be in your currency under common, and the ventures are going to be right here. You need these for your retainer because that's how you pay him. Alright, your retainer basically will be able to get you materials while you are out doing other things. You are automatically given 2 retainers once you join the Scions of 7th Dawn through the main story quest, and each additional retainer is an extra $2 when you buy them off the Moloch station, and they will be taken out of your monthly subscription to the game. Alright? I forgot how many you can have at one time. But what you do, you pick a retainer, and then you would have to come down here and choose to give your retainer a class. Alright? You also can reset your retainer class to another job or another class if you so choose to do so. I have 4, so I'll be able to choose a battle, a fisher, botanist, and a miner. There's no crafting ones. Okay? So I have 1 of each. So I already sent mine out to get me some animal skin. So what you would do, go to assign adventure after you give him a job. You've got 2 options right now. When you level them up, you'll be able to have a 3rd option called quick exploration, which will give you a random item based off of your item level that he has. So we have hunting for battle jobs, of course, and you have your list based off what your level of your retainer and the items. You have quantity, duration, and cost. It always will cost you 1 adventure for these. Quantity and duration will increase and decrease the time based on the item level of your retainer, and they also bring you back more, but there is a cap on how many you can bring back. Alright. Field exploration, these will go up as you level up your retainer. These are 18-hour duration ones, and it costs 2 ventures. The items are specific to each exploration, so you always will get most likely the same thing from each one. But sometimes you can get rare drops from these, such as minions. So if you're not going to be planning on playing for too long, then you can set your retainer out for 18 hours, then come back the next day and it should be done, and they give you a lot of experience toward your retainer. Over here, you can equip them with gear. So if you have your weathered weapon, when you start out the game, make sure you give it to your retainer. If you sell it, get rid of it, you can easily buy it again through the battle NPC at the marketplace. So if you're going to be using the same gear as your main, throw it all into your retainer, but don't sell it or throw it away. Alright? If you do not have a certain item level, your retainer can get certain items in the list. So it's very useful to have your retainer get stuff that you can basically get yourself. The other thing you have to keep in mind that your retainer cannot go any higher than your own class. So let's say I'm a level 40 battle job. My retainer cannot go past level 40 until I get there. Alright, so to get your retainer to max rank, you have to be max rank in whatever class you chose to be. Okay? There's plenty of ways to get ventures, such as love quests, the XIV beast tribes. I think the other beast tribes give you 2, and also the Grand Company. Alright? So, speaking of our Grand Company, we're going to be heading to there next, because I'm going to explain why it's very important to level up in your Grand Company, or promoted in your Grand Company. Alright, so I'm going to head over to Limsa Lominsa, and then we will continue. Alright guys, so here are at my Grand Company in Limsa Lominsa. So, the NPC here, the Storm Personal Officer, or whatever Grand Company you're at, is where you can go to rank up in your Grand Company. Now, you need Grand Company seals. It can be right here. Since you've been doing your Grand Company turn-ins as a crafter, you should have a lot of these. Alright, so each rank will have a threshold of Grand Company seals that you can have at one time. All you need to do is talk to the personal officer and apply for a promotion. Obviously I'm already at max rank, but you'll need a hefty amount of seals in order to rank up. You also will have your hunting log for your Grand Company, which will also grant you seals. You also need to do this in order to be promoted at one point. So as you complete these, you'll be able to unlock level 2 and then level 3. You only need level 2 unlocked and completed to get promoted. Alright. At one point, you are going to be required to do 2 dungeons. Dismile Darkhold and Aurum Vale in order to progress into your Grand Company higher ranks, as well as supply the Grand Company seals for it. The Quartermaster will be right next to her. You have different items based on your rank. Now, for Ventures, it's going to be under Material. In the very first rank, you'll have 200 seals per venture. Alright, so you'll be able to get these immediately. Your second option is the Hunt, which is going to be over here. The Hunt Buildmaster, it's going to be under Others, I believe. And the Ventures will cost you 4 allied seals in order to get your Ventures. This is for A Realm Reborn. So those are the 2 ways you guys can get your Ventures. Obviously you can't unlock the Hunt until you're level 50. Like I said, the other ones are through the Beast Tribes. Alright, so those are different ways you guys can get Ventures for your Retainers. Now, the other thing we're going to be talking about is Master Recipe Books. And the only way to get those Master Recipe Books in A Realm Reborn is by getting the items that used to be gotten through tomestones, which is going to be the cooking sherry all the way down here to the coke. These were used to get Master Recipe Books in Dhona, where we're going to be going next. So I'm going to explain to you guys what Master Recipe Books are and why you're not really going to do the Realm Reborn ones until we get to Heaven's Ward. Alright, so when we get to Dhona, we will continue. Alright guys, so here we are in Dhona at X21.9, Y 6.8, and you want to talk to Guiding Star here twice. Alright, after that, you'll be able to talk to his friend Talon, which is going to be right next to him. Now, Master Recipe Books are basically books that are the hardest recipes in each expansion. We have 7 books, plus a book for specifically for recipes that contain demi-materia. Alright, so we have 1 through 7 currently, plus the 8th is the other book. In A Realm Reborn, you have to make certain items high quality in order to get these books. These items can only be made by having a certain amount of stats, mostly craftsmanship and control. So if you go in your crafting log, 46 to 50, we have these recipes with has a star next to it. These are really hard recipes of the certain expansions that you're in. There's 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, and 4 stars. More stars means the harder the recipe. As you can see here under characteristics at the bottom, you actually have to have a certain amount of stats in order to make it. These ones right here are used to get the Master Recipe Book number 1s. Since you need 347 craftsmanship, you cannot do this currently, because in order to make these you need the Guild Master gear, but because we're not really going to be needing those because we're going to be going through the levels too quickly, we easily can do this when we get halfway through Heaven's Ward, where we are so above what is required to do these, because the books in A Realm Reborn are just there for glamour now, since the gear is useless. It's just there for appearances. Alright, but before all this, you have to actually do your level 50 class quest in your crafter classes and have the blue tool equipped before you can do this. But again, you want to save that for later on. The only ones you can really get right away are the ones with the diamond materia. You only need 1 red and 1 blue to get those books. So this one you're basically going to bypass until later. Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers, you're going to be doing something completely different to get your books. It's for more casual friendly people. So it's only going to be for A Realm Reborn. We actually have to craft something in order to get it. Alright, so those are Master Recipe Books. There's only 2 per expansion. So 1 and 2 is A Realm Reborn. 2 and 3 are Heaven's Ward, 4 and 5 is Stormblood, and 7 and 8 is going to be Shadowbringers. Alrighty? So those are all the things that you guys really need to know before we go into Heaven's Ward. I highly recommend getting your retainers leveled up to 50 before we go ahead into Heaven's Ward, because you're going to be needing them quite often to get you materials that are just going to be a pain in the butt to get yourself. Especially when it comes to monster drops, because there's a certain monster drop in Heaven's Ward you're going to be needing a lot of. Alright? So guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you found this useful. Any comments, questions, and or concerns, please put them in the comment section down below. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out with any questions you might have. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new for more Final Fantasy XIV content and the continuation to my crafting series. And as a reminder, make sure you hit that notification bell next to my subscribe button. This way you guys will never miss an upload. And follow me on my social media at ZaneLionheart on Twitter and Facebook. So till next time guys, may you forever walk in the glorious light of Lord Bahamut. Take care guys.